Before we can install Red Hat Enterprise Linux Server 8, let's talk about the server requirements. So first you need to know that Red Hat Enterprise Linux can be installed or deployed in different ways. You can install it on physical hardware, which is the traditional way of installing a server in a data center. Or you can install in a virtual machine, running VMware or KVM or whichever type of virtualization you'd like. RHEL 8 can also be running as a container or as an instance in a cloud. Nowadays there are so many options to get started with Red Hat Enterprise Linux 8. In this class we are installing in a virtual machine, and that's because it's so flexible. Virtual machines behave like physical hardware and they don't give the limitations that are given when working with containers or cloud instances. So in order to install, you can use RHEL 8, which you can download from redhat.com. Or alternatively, you can use CentOS 8 as well, which is a download from centos.org. CentOS is completely the same as Red Hat Enterprise Linux. The only difference is that there is no Red Hat proprietary trademark stuff in CentOS. So if you want to be completely free, use CentOS. And otherwise, if you want to use the real software, use Red Hat Enterprise Linux. You should notice that there is a developer edition available that allows you to work with Red Hat Enterprise Linux for free. Okay, let's talk about server requirements. So the actual requirements depend on the type of installation that you are going to do. Is it going to be physical, cloud or virtual? Depending on the answer, the requirements are going to be different. And also, are you going to run RHEL with or without graphical user interface? Normally, Red Hat Enterprise Linux often runs without a graphical user interface. And that is because graphical user interfaces make sense if you have people sitting directly behind the console of your server, which hardly is ever the case when working with Red Hat Enterprise Linux. In this class, however, we are going to install a graphical user interface just because it is convenient. Also, the requirements depend on the type of installation. It is different if you are going to set up a simple web server or a big database server or a virtualization host or a container platform, for instance. For installation of a virtual machine in this class, here are the requirements. We need a minimum of 2 GB of RAM. Oh, and by the way, the little I means that we are talking about gigabytes. A gigabyte is 1024 megabytes and a megabyte is 1024 kilobytes. I hope that makes sense. Also, we need 20 gigabytes of disk space. And we need wired network connection. Oh, apart from that, you need something to install it from. That means you need an optical drive or access to the DVD ISO. The ISO file itself can be downloaded from redhat.com or from centos.org. So that depends on the type of installation that you are going to do. And I'm just going to assume that you have already taken care of getting the ISO file so that you can get started with the actual installation.